Hello and welcome to Date Night with the Dialogue Wheel, brought to you by DialogueWheel.com. Truly, we are the only podcast on the internet willing to broach such difficult topics as, is Alistair totally cute, or is Alistair, like, really totally cute? These questions and more answered on tonight's episode of Date Night with the Dialogue Wheel.
Okay, so hi everybody, this is Chachi Bobinks of the Dialogue Wheel. We are broadcasting tonight, doing our Keepcast, which I know a lot of you people have been anticipating quite a bit. We're going to get some questions answered, do a little bit of chatting about the Keep, and also try to give away a couple of codes. So with me, I've got some very special guests. Introduce yourselves. Let's start with Kat.
My name's Kat. I am the direct Dialogue Wheel option, and I'm very excited about the Keep.
I'm Tyler. I am the charm option. I talk too much, and I am also excited about the Keep. I mean...
I'm DA fan, YouTuber, Twitter, whatever. And I am the flirt dialogue option. Hello. And I am super duper duperly excited about Dragon Age Keep and think it is awesome and beautiful.
Hi, I'm Ability Drain. I am a YouTuber and my thingy is chaotic neutral because sometimes I'm good and sometimes I'm not. And I'm really looking forward to the Dragon Age Keep being open to everybody because it's fucking awesome.
And again, I'm Chachi Bobinks, Little Miss Humorous over here. Maybe tonight I will actually show you why I picked that charm. And I'm also... I know, promises. And I'm also really excited about the Dragon Age Keep. I think it's really neat to have been part of the beta testing and whatnot, getting to see how things have changed. I know that in the video they talked about adding color to things, and that was also part of the show that they were live tweeting last night. So we were kind of there during, I'm going to call them the dark ages.
Yeah.
Because there was no color. I know.
It was
There was a little.
The early phases of that, it was so bare bones. I was like, wow, there's not much going on in here currently. And I was thinking, God, what's it going to be like? But actually, over time, like every wave, they put in more and more things, and now it just looks great, I think.
That art is gorgeous.
It is so pretty. Just the color is amazing.
I even liked it before it had all the bright colors. I thought it looked good then.
Yeah, it looks great.
The kind
just
of
the art.
reduced style. I like the way they kind of conveyed all those ideas with very little. It was like concise. I like that.
And it's very in keeping with the, like in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, they'd had those scenes and it was all very artistic and stylized where Barrick would narrate and stuff like that. It's very in keeping with that.
Yeah, I always forget that, I always think of that as being from Dragon Age 2, but I guess the intro sequence in Origins used that exact same art style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite part about Dragon Age 2 was all the different artwork and how it kind of told you some things. Like the Hanged Man one was my favorite out of all of them. You know, the loading screen.
And it would just swing,
Yeah.
Swinging. Yeah. And the one with all
works.
the... Yeah. I don't know. It's really cool. So I'm glad to see it returning to us. So... when it comes to the Keep in general, conceptually, what it's meant to do for us as players, what excites you guys the most? The fact that we don't have to worry about saving stuff anymore, or...
Well, there's that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing as well is that we don't have to worry about glitched saves being imported. I don't have to worry that a romance flag isn't going to pop, or that, Alistair isn't going to recognise that he was dating my warden. And
My poor broken
really cool.
heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Why is he drunk here? He's supposed to be married to my warden. What's going on? Yeah.
That happened in my first playthrough, so I honestly wondered what my warden did to him.
Like, wow.
I feel sorry for the Zebran Mancers.
I think...
My God.
Yeah.
That never went through, like it never registered for me.
I think for me, it's like, I like to see like which choices really mattered, because we did a lot of stuff, and then you can find out which ones actually had the most long-term effect, so it makes you think back to your original playthroughs in DAO and DA2, and go, you know what, that must have been significant, and just to see how it plays out in the game as well, like if you pick something and it's just kind of a passing reference, or if it's like a major deal, that would be great.
I even liked how like minor stuff would pop in, like if you played Awakening, like the Hala, or like if you played Awakening, there'd be like people there from Vigil's Keep that you went on like a side quest for in Dragon Age 2.
I'm not even going to remember that.
I'm wondering how the Hollow's going to play out, honestly, because it's going to be like, I can just see you like talking to some days, like, I heard the Warden really liked Holla. Anyway.
What? I saved the Holla once.
Holla-loving Warden. Killed that Holla. I can't believe it. We're still mad about it, you guys.
That was my favourite one as well.
15 years later.
We've been on a human killing spree ever since that douchebag Warden killed that Holla.
It was totally not sick. We did an autopsy. Yeah, you can just see that going on.
Did you guys see? So I did a video on like things you may not have noticed from like the Gamescom stuff, and there was actually on the map for Inquisition, you can see the symbol for the clan that Dalish Warden and Meryl are from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So they may pop up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't kill them in Dragon Age 2 and that, so, you know, they'll still be there in theory. Mind you, were they the same clan? Were they the same clan from Dragon Age Origins to Dragon Age 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Meryl was in it, but...
It's the same one.
There's two Dalish clans. There's two Dalish clans in Dragon Age Origins. There's the one that you're in if you're the Dalish origin, and there's that one, and that's Meryl's clan, and then there's the one you meet in the Brazilian Forest that everybody...
Yeah, with Zathrian and stuff.
Oh, right. See, I just presumed they were the same, because I did the Dalish Origin, but I never actually bothered to play a full game of it, because I just can't gel with the Dalish.
Right.
I've tried, but they're just so elitist and up their own arse. I just can't. I just don't want to be part of that.
They're
you know?
not nice people.
No, they're not.
They keep saying they are. I haven't seen any proof.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I've read Asunder and all that. I've seen what they're like. Not Asunder, sorry. The Masked Empire.
Yeah.
And I've seen what they're like. And I was glad they got killed, to be honest. I was like, good, you're all a bunch of arseholes.
I think what I'm most excited about with the Keep is, without being too specific, they are really, really detailed when it comes to your choices. Yeah. So, like, any choice that someone was worried isn't going to make it into the Keep is either there or planned to be there.
I was actually trying to think about that. Like, is there anything I remember doing in either of the games that isn't kind of represented, that I think would have effects in the future? And I can't really think
It's really hard, because they've got so much in there already.
But that's not all of it. They're still adding things in. So that's barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
They have stuff that I didn't even know you could do in the game.
I realized I did, like, nothing in Denerim. Like, did you do any of this? No, none of it.
It's like,
I
let's
missed
just
some
add it.
things.
Not a thing.
I know. I think what I'm the most excited about is that I think we've all been at that point where you finish up Dragon Age 2 and you go, oh, I need to do a playthrough where this happens. Let me start from the very beginning and do it all over again. And I love playing through Origins and all the DLC and everything, but there's a difference between doing it for fun and doing it because, shit, I need to nail that one option I didn't get.
Yeah, I hated that. Like, for example, Dragon Age 2, I accidentally what was it? Is it Sir Karas, the rapey one that no one likes? I was going to kill him.
Ulrich, too.
And I was trying to get my approval up with Varric. So I was like, oh, Varric's with me, I'll let him be smart and that'll get me some approval. Instead, he ended up making Karas leave because he just made up some shit and he was like, oh yeah, they're gone, and then he left and I was like, no, I wanted to kill him. So
I liked that, actually. I was like, that works.
And this is my canon Dragon Age 2 game, and I was like, oh, I'm not going all through that again because I cannot be asked. But luckily with the Keep, I can just be like, yep, he's dead, sorted, and just edit it and it's fine.
Done.
So
Yeah.
cool.
In my PC canon playthrough, I felt really bad because I realized in Witch Hunt that in baseline Origins, I just straight up forgot to take Shale on her loyalty.
Right.
Whoops.
Whoa, man.
Whoopsies.
I also like that you can make the game filled with all the choices you didn't actually want to do. Like, for once, I'll be able to make an origin story where I didn't romance Alistair, because I won't have to go through it.
Oh
that
my.
is so hard not to
difficult
do.
I can't. I literally can't. I tried. I failed.
I had to make a male character
It's the only way.
just to romance everyone else because obviously, you know, he doesn't romance men. So I was like, if I make a male, then it's all good. And then I ended up with Zevran, and I was like, yeah, that's all right.
Alistair is just so charming. Like, he's too charming.
Yeah.
Too charming.
And you don't want to hurt his feelings, and I realize he's not real, but I can't stand the thought of hurting his feelings.
Wait, what now? He's not real? What?
No, he's real. I'm just kidding. I'm
Pre-order
totally
cat.
kidding.
He's real. No, it's okay. It's
Steve
okay.
Valentine is very real.
Very much so. And he loves you, DA fan. Regardless of what Steve Valentine may say, Alistair loves you.
He does.
You're queen.
We got married. It was a thing.
You are definitely queen material.
Definitely material.
I am his ball and fucking chain, man.
I was so offended. The one time I actually played a female Kuzan and married him, he referred to me as a ball and chain. I was like, oh no, you didn't.
You.
I was like, right, that's it. Not marrying you. You can bugger off. I didn't want to get married anyway, so meh.
Yeah, just kidding. I wasn't serious about that.
It's alright, I'm in a Mel, and it's alright, Cullen wants me even if he doesn't, so meh.
I was always a
all about
default
Joan.
Kuzland. I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, that's a good. We should do a hashtag on that, default Kuzlin.
Default Kuzland.
Default
there you go. That's the
Kuzland,
hashtag
yeah.
for the evening. You know what? We'll include that in our Keep giveaway because you're going to have to tweet Chachi Bobinks. And one of the things you have to include in that tweet is hashtag default Kuzland. We'll include that. I like that. Let me write that down. Alright, so let's just jump right into discussing some of the questions. I pulled some questions off of the awesome exclusive Keep demo that Ability Drain got to do along with Lady Insanity, Gamer MD83, and Scottish Warrior, and I think there's numbers at the end of his name, but I'm not sure what they are.
92.
92. There you go. Not to be mistaken for all the previous Scottish Warriors that did not survive.
He's the last of his line.
The last of his life.
They had not been brought their broadswords.
That's right.
So we did.
I also got some questions from the people on Twitter. Thank you so much if you sent me anything by DM. And then Sissy on the BSN gathered some things for me as well. One of the big questions that a lot of people had was that in the demo we got to see a movie that is being narrated by the amazing Brian Bloom, Heart Be Still. I know, right? And I thought that was really neat, that it kind of made me think of Genesis a little bit from Mass Effect.
I may have assumed you meant the bandit.
Yeah, see, Phil Collins, obviously he narrates it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'd be cool with that. I mean,
That would be
He
kinda
sings
cool,
it
though.
all the way through, he just sings your full story. It'd be great.
I'd be
in
into
Redcliffe,
that.
there was something in the air that.
Oh God! Come on now.
Wow.
I'm the actual
happened.
word.
That actually, yeah.
Well, if you played Mass Effect 2, you started off with Genesis, and that was your way of choosing
Yeah.
all the things before. But it didn't really make things very clear. So
It was very basic, wasn't it?
And it was
very basic, yeah. And it didn't really explain the choices to you either. So the first time I tried to play, I actually tried starting off with Mass Effect 2, since I got it for free when I purchased DA2.
Yeah.
I think that was fun. I think that's what I don't know. I got something free there. But I accidentally chose to let Ashley live, and that was the worst decision, perhaps.
How dare you?
Monster.
Wow.
I was like,
What?
she's a girl. She's cool. Let her live.
So you killed Caden.
I
You killed.
killed Hayden
killed
accidentally.
my love.
Were you romancing him?
I know. It was totally an accident.
She couldn't have known that it was Karth at the time, in all
yeah.
fairness.
No
to her.
way. No way. Yeah, so I tried playing Mass Effect 2, and I just couldn't get it, and I quit, and I just never tried it again for like years, right? So then in April of this year, I started off with Mass Effect 1, and about had a heart attack when I started talking. I was like, I killed you! What's wrong? Why would I do that, Raphael Samarge? So, I know. So I'm glad that we're going to have a little sequence very much akin to that, like when it comes to the movie playing and stuff, but I'm glad we're actually going to know what we're doing to ourselves.
Yeah. Well,
I keep trying to hit that play
well
button.
that's the great thing about it, is that the thing will play and you've got Varric narrating, but you can stop it at any time or sort of pause it mid-sentence to edit it. So if he says, like, okay, so Redcliffe Village, the warden burnt down Redcliffe Village or left it or whatever, blah, 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 and you're like, oh, no, I don't like that, or oh, no, I didn't pick that choice, you can go to edit and change it, and then he'll repeat himself, and this time say something like, you know, the warden saved Redcliffe Village, blah, 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 Connor and blah blah. Who is this woman? Tegan. Like that, you know.
Who is this woman?
Is this woman Tegan? You know.
I was like messing with her whenever I played it. Like I was an elf, and I would always be like, "Are you saying that because I'm an elf?" She's like, "What?" Like I loved messing with her. She was the best. No.
But there's so many
racist.
There's so many choices in the Keep. Like there are tons and tons of choices. It'd be easy to accidentally mess up. So the video portion's a really good way to track all that.
Exactly.
Or at
I
least
can't
for the
remember
main
exactly.
stuff. Because I think they said like the minor stuff might not be in the video.
Yeah.
But like the big stuff, like say who you romanced or like how the lands meet went, stuff like that, that will be in the video, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
I mean, I
And then,
think
like,
they said it runs for about 15 minutes or so. I can't remember exactly. I mean, I should have paid more
Wow.
attention. I was
Nice.
too busy looking at the pretties, but I'm pretty sure it was something like the full movie runs for about
Yeah.
15 to 20
I can
minutes.
just see you doing
something
that.
like
Yeah.
Like watching
did.
it and Mello's talking, you're like, shh, 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 I'm trying to watch. Shh, Mello, shh.
It's gonna be such a great way for me to
I have
just
to
like
admit-
suck up my time. I'm gonna just watch like 5 of them.
There,
Yeah.
there is a part of me that's hoping a little bit that if you change enough stuff as Varric's talking, he'll start to get a little
It's like, will you
impatient with you.
stop?
As I was saying,
Oh god, that was hilarious. Anyway,
Yeah.
pardon the embellishment.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he totally changes the story. You're like, whoa, 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 that did not happen.
you can just be like, press the
Called
bullshit
out.
button. Bullshit, what really happened?
Bullshit. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Just starts making everybody like larger than life, like Alistair's a giant. And you're like, whoa, calm down. He was big, but he was not that big.
That's something I wonder about. Varric narrated Dragon Age 2, right? So do you think he'll describe himself narrating Dragon Age 2? Like, and charming,
God, and then I
handsome
told the
dwarf,
story to
then
some
narrating the
bitch who
story.
stabbed my book.
It'd be like breaking the fourth wall there or something really weird. And you're like, what?
Who are you talking to? Oh my god, that'd be great.
I just want Cassandra to catch him narrating his interrogation to himself and then punch him in the face.
He's rehearsing
I did
it
not
in front of
sound
the mirror
like
or
that.
something. And then the suave dwarf, like, hey, what are you doing in there?
It's like, for the love of God, Varric, will you
narrating
shut up? I'm
again?
trying to sleep.
Are you writing us a romance subplot again?
What's going? What are you writing? Nothing.
I know the two of them are supposed to be like really bitter towards each other, according to like the writer interviews and stuff.
Yeah,
So I
and
don't.
they
I
don't
wonder
get on very
how
Nice.
that's gonna go because I thought they were
well.
gonna
They've
be
been
like
travelling
best
together, haven't
friends.
they?
I
Well, they
wanted
get
to.
on better than that, mind you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so rude to Cassandra at first because, you know, as we know, she's going to lock us up for a little while. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not going to be nice to you. You're horrible until you apologise. And I bet she doesn't bloody apologise either.
I cannot see her.
She's
forming
gonna
those
start
words.
Inquisition the same way Ashley started Mass Effect 3. I don't trust you, and I need to tell you that at every
Oh,
turn.
shut up, woman. Get back in the game.
Like, I know, I get it. Yeah. Got it. Worked for Cerberus. Makes me a bad person.
Do you have the
I
glowing
refuse to
green
talk to you. Go and
hand?
get Cullen.
Do you have the glowing green hand? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You can't
Hand over the
you're
power,
not gonna
love.
close the fade? Shall I? Shall I do that for you? Okay.
Because you need
Just
me
make her be
after
nice
all.
to you.
Something, something, demon.
I just be like, I refuse to talk to you. Go and get Cullen, or I'm not talking.
Oh yeah, Colin, could you tell Cassandra that I'm very angry about the fact? It's like I'm
Could
standing
you tell
right here.
Cassandra to pass the salt?
It's all like awkward
Sandal
dinner table
hates it
conversations.
when mommy and daddy fight.
Oh, God. Oh.
Pulling from our pile of questions here. Okay, so they were saying what 300 choices that we're expected to have. Is that right?
I can totally
300
believe that.
to
Yeah.
be chosen? Yeah. So I'm thinking if there were actually 300 different things I could choose in the end, I'm probably only going to remember making like 10 of them, and they're all going to be revolving around Alistair. I don't know what happened to Redcliffe, but I remember that I got that rose. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know a lot
Something
of
about that.
a lot of people are really concerned that they're not going to remember the choices that they made. So what I'm hoping, I know they were talking about the little question mark thing that'll pop up
Yeah.
on there. You can click on it and it'll tell you something. I'm wondering how in depth they're going to get with that. Because if you tell me, you know, oh, Carradine was the guy who was down there, that still might not trigger my memory. So I wonder how in depth they're going to get with that description.
And I wonder
I
wonder for the people that have never actually played the Dragon Age games before and are using the Keep because they want to play Inquisition. I wonder like how in depth they're going to go for those people, and if they'll be able to be like, I don't really care if this person gave me a rose. I just like their haircut.
He looks cute, he'll do.
He'll do.
Like, I'm just gonna kill
How am I supposed to
everybody
know how-
if given the opportunity. Dead, not dead. Let's just go with dead. I'll just kill everybody.
Yeah.
I can see this like being.
How am I
good.
supposed to know
You know, like.
how I interacted with some minor character?
Right. Well, I can see
We've
like this
never
being
met.
a good kind of insight into if you're just starting with DAI, like the other two games. I think it's a really good idea to like, especially with the little movie. Like, okay, here's the plot of the other two games.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to go to the wiki
Yeah.
page or just kind of be confused the whole time.
Oh, That's a good point, because where the movie is just the major choices, that might actually be a better option.
They
for
might
people
link it.
who
They might
aren't
have their own
coming in
mightn't
from
they?
previous games.
I mean, what
And
I
then
do.
you can stop it if you don't like the way it sounds, you know, and then you can stop it right there. You're like, ooh, maybe I don't want to do that, and so
Yeah.
you can and I think having multiple world states will be really interesting because you can, when you do your multiple playthroughs. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's where I'm headed, and so yeah, there it is. It's right in front of you, and you guys can see what's going to happen. So I like that.
So I don't know.
Playthroughs.
I don't know if there's going to be like if they will link to the wiki or if they'll have their own type of wiki page or something. It's hard to say. I mean, I think it's going to be more. I don't know. I presume it'll be more extensive than just a little question mark and then a tiny little blurb because, like you said, you're not always going to remember. Again, I suppose through the movie, Varric would go into a lot of detail, but like you said, will he cover the tiny little things? I don't know. So
That's a good question.
I mean, I personally have the wiki page up as well, so you can check backwards and forwards just in case, until they announce what they're actually doing in regards to that. But
Right.
it's a tough one. It really is. I don't know.
Exactly. And I would hope that maybe it would be different for people who've never played before, because they're not really going to care if you got the family sword from that one kid in Redcliffe and give it back.
That was really important!
But how did his sister feel about it?
That bitch married my man! That's what I
who
remember.
cares? She tried to run off with Tegan. I don't think so. love.
Excuse me, no. He's my backup plan. Yeah. Didn't work out with Alistair. I know someone who's interested. He said so.
Really do hope we see him again.
I've always wondered about him and like Isolde, because like Isolde's husband's like off and doing their own, and then it's just
I
them.
always thought. I think Connor's his son. To be honest. I
Really?
Just you don't want to know, because I'm pretty sure he thinks she's pretty because she is, but as soon as she goes, Tegan! He's like,
No.
Drunken nights alone in Redcliffe Castle. Who knows? They might have been
And
like
they do
that.
sound very familiar with one another, and she has a lot of pull with him for someone's annoying noble wife. So
he's a nice guy.
Just stick a sock in her mouth, that'd be easy enough.
I was just imagining how she would sound in bed, and now I believe that probably that's not his son. Nope.
Why did you do that?
Oh.
We should do like a combination of Isolde and Sebastian. Tegan, make her no. Some kind of mashup there.
Tegan, no!
Just like I said, stick a sock in her mouth, it's all good. Done. Not a problem. And then when you get so drunk, sometimes you can't hear anything anyway, so that's maybe what happened. And the result was Connor.
That would explain
What is your
so much.
headcanon?
Oh,
Well, I mean, he did get possessed by a demon and all, so this explains a lot.
I know, right? It's kind of justified. That's the weird part.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm half expecting Connor to turn up in like Dragon Age Inquisition being really hot, and I'd be like, wow, time's been good to you.
I thought so. That's what I thought when it's like when we did DA2 with like the 10-year difference, and I knew we'd be going back to those characters 10 years later. I'm like, all the kids we saw, like Bevan, who's the kid with the sword, by the way.
Yeah.
And all those guys, we'll see them as adults, and I'm like, why couldn't one of them?
So Connor
Companion.
actually was supposed to be in Dragon Age 2. He was actually cut out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you can
right.
find the dialogue on
What?
YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can find the voice
I
actor for
remember the
him, like,
concept
talking
art.
and saying, "Oh, hi, Hawk, blah, blah, blah. I'm from Redcliffe."
I think I
That's
remember
exactly what he
seeing
sounded like. I can see why they cut him
concept
out.
art of him both possessed and unpossessed.
Wow.
Oh god, I bet a possessed one would be actually kind of sexy because it's a desire demon, isn't it? So I bet it's quite a sexy Connor walking around there.
Party animal.
But he might be dead. That's the problem. Like, you can't have a companion.
Well, then you just have zombie Connor.
Nothing sexy about that.
Despite, like, Liliana, who apparently one of your, you didn't have to recruit her, so how does that work?
Also, you can
Yeah.
cut her head
Yeah,
off,
see,
so
I-
that's
Is that
I've
true? You
never-
could kill her?
You can cut
I
her
know,
head
isn't
off.
it?
Sacred Ashes, you could.
See, was that just one of the you have like your final kill thing? Was it that? Is that what people are talking about when they say they cut her head off, or can you literally just walk over to her and just chop it off?
yeah.
Like,
when you're doing the whole sacred ashes
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
and you tick her off, some people were like rogues or whatever, and so their combat animation was her
I
literally
see.
getting decapitated.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I accidentally once decapitated Zevran, and he got right up and he started talking to me again. This was like when he attacked us the first time, and I was like, that is talent.
It's a shame his head didn't just stay off the entire game.
In my recent playthrough, I recruited Zevran and then looted his corpse.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I was like, this...
Maybe he just, like, dropped some shit down?
Like, there was, like, the skeleton there and everything. I was like, this is awkward.
You know what that reminds me of? The people who I've seen who... You know those starting party members that we talked about earlier that you get at the beginning of Origins?
Yeah.
People have them walk around naked in preparation
I do
for getting
that.
their
I do
gear
that
done.
every time.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a thing.
Like, oh, I want that split mail. Like, okay, get your 20 copper.
Is that what the kids are
I'm
calling
so
it?
glad that that's not just me that does that. And they
Oh
go
my
off to
God.
do the joining ritual butt fucking naked. It's just hilarious.
Although, Davith, though, let's be honest, it's really nice.
Oh, is it?
I'm sorry, I can't sail with you on that one. He's creepy.
I know what I'm doing next time I have a playthrough.
It just makes it so much more funny.
You know,
It's hilarious. So I'd be sad, but
there's
it's
one
hilarious.
thing about them that irritates me.
So Liliana is definitely
There's-
in DAI, but if you kill her in DAO, how does that work?
Didn't they say they were
Yeah.
going to address that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, they did. They said that there was. She's supposed to say, I got better. No.
Yeah, right? It's just a flesh wound. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you were.
I mean,
There was this thing called the Andraste Project, and now we're all back together.
Yeah, maybe because you killed her at
There's a
Sacred
thing where
Ashes,
they
she
can
like
play
dragged
dead,
herself
can't they?
over to the ashes and got a little bit. Maybe
Yeah, it was supposed to be the
there's a bit
ashes
of
or
ash
something.
colour
there was some on the
I
floor,
snorted
like some
it, and
blew
I'm
off on the
alright.
floor and landed on her. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's probably what it is.
I picked up my disembodied head and just kind of dipped it around in there
Stuck
for a
it
little
back
bit.
on, like death becomes her. It's all good. It's still sellotaped it back on.
Just put a
They have
band-aid on
sellotape
it,
faders,
all
right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I reckon because the rogues could play dead, couldn't they? I used to get Zevran do it quite a lot, and maybe she'd just say, "Oh, I played dead." You know, I was still alive.
My
doing
head
that,
separate
pretending.
from my body.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
dead.
pop
That's
my head
still-
off, man. It's so cool. Watch.
Advanced feign death skills.
She kept a watermelon in her pack, painted up to look just
Stick
right,
stuck on her head.
waiting for that
Drop it
special
down there.
moment.
She's like had this
Threw it
watermelon
in the
with
air.
this,
Oh,
with
my
this
head.
wig on, two googly eyes. No one noticed. Someone needs to draw that. That'd be amazing.
Can we make like watermelon Liliana like a hashtag or something?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes!
Really on it. I'm writing it
Hashtag
down
melon
right now.
head.
Melon
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 head.
head, do it. Melon head.
Melon head.
Meliana?
I like it.
Melion. Oh shit. Yes.
Yes, okay, so that's going to be another part of our contest is hashtag Meliana.
Meliana.
You're sick. You're sick, man.
I hope so.
Sick. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay. So speaking of people dying and the keep transition. Hey. I know, right? Yes, nailed it. Another thing that some people were curious about is if your warden died, if they did the ultimate sacrifice, and then say you went on to Awakening and you still ported over this now dead character. How is that going to play in there exactly? Is the system going to realize your warden's both dead and alive? Like
I think what it
Schrodinger's
would do,
warden?
it would recognise it and change the dead warden in Awakening
Yeah.
to the Elysian warden or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because obviously that you can't have a character that's dead and alive at the same
it's totally
time.
on
So
it.
And they've
Unless they got better.
and they've stated like if we have a returning character, like say Hawk for example, you'll be able to like customize their appearance to some degree.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
So I'm going to spend even longer in the bloody character creator. First of all, making my character with the
Yup.
position, and then redoing my Hawk that took bloody ages to do in the first place.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
My standards are very high because my character in Origins looked scarily like me. So,
Are we
if I
doing
can't recreate
self-inserts
that
again?
in Inquisition...
Well, I mean, my warden is me, and my first Inquisitor is going to be me. I'm so glad I've changed my hair colour in between, because it would have been twins if she turns up. I'm like, oh, the poor Cullen will be like, oh god.
That's what I've been saying. I have an excuse between Origins and 2, because at least the Amels and the Hawks are related.
Yeah.
But if I have a character that looks like me in Inquisition, people are going to be afraid there's a
Doppelganger.
dark-haired, stubbly-faced guy conspiracy.
It's like the Dragon Age version of the Stormtroopers or something.
I really liked...
Fortunately.
Really crappy Illuminati.
Really crap.
Fortunately, my Hawk is a dude, so that's fine. Otherwise, there would have been 3 of them, all identical, running around.
When the Dragon Age 2 demo first came out, I remember when on the forums everyone was like posting pictures of the Hawk they created. I love how everyone just somehow made all their Hawks look like Natalie Portman.
Yeah! All of mine look like Natalie Portman, and I was like, I don't know why, but they all do.
They do.
Oh my
So
god.
strange.
Hey, I mean, my Renegade Shepherd is Bruce Willis, so I totally get that.
Mine never look like me. I'm like the only one.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
like
always
the only
look like
one. I never self-insert.
She refuses to
Never
self-insert.
self-insert.
That always
I have
sounds so
other people
crude.
for
Oh
that.
yeah, I self-insert.
we already made that joke. We already made that joke.
How you doing?
Yeah, I always let other people. I insert other people. How's that? Go ahead and
Oh
quote me.
my gosh.
Girl.
We're out there.
That's somehow worse.
You're gonna need a
Hashtag
lot
I
of loot
insert
for that.
other people. There you go.
Props, man. Props.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever works.
Whatever tickles your pickle.
works.
I hope that we find that a lot of the choices that we made in DLC actually does come through to the other games.
Well, I'm assuming that'll be the last thing that they lock down is the DLC. Because that has to be like the lowest on their list of priorities.
Exactly, since it's optional.
Well, I mean,
If you didn't play... I'm sorry, I was just going to say, if you didn't play DLC, does it still show up in the Keep? I've done
Yeah,
all
it
the
does,
DLCs.
yeah.
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 It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't
I just
didn't
think
do
they
the
don't have it
Talus
all in
one.
there
That's the
yet.
only
Yeah,
one
I mean,
didn't do.
the thing is, in the DLC, we didn't really make that many choices anyway, beyond like the main objective.
Right.
For example, like find Morrigan, did you stab her, go through the mirror, or let her go, and stuff like that. Beyond that, there wasn't too many options really. So
Mark of the Assassin had quite a few side quests, but other than that, they were pretty much, this is the story, go do the
this
story.
is the story of Talus.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna.
Yeah,
No,
that's
don't
the
even
one
get
I
me
didn't-
ranting about that. Oh my god.
Oh.
No. See, I didn't even do that one because I was going to, and then everyone was like, "Ah!" I'm like, okay,
No,
never
it
mind.
is fun. It is fun.
Yeah, the first time.
Felicia
The Golden
Day is there
Party
like
is
the whole
amazing.
time.
Yeah, oh,
It's
I
great.
love
That
that.
works for you, not me, Tai Tai.
There you go. Okay, so without being spoilery, I kind of think the reason why we can't romance Varric is because of comic content.
Oh,
So
for
it
sure,
makes you
for
wonder,
sure.
yeah, how are the books and everything really going to tie into the story? Some people seem to think it's canon. Some people seem to think it's optional canon, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, for example, in the comics, Alistair is king, but I suppose it would still play
Right.
out, but Alistair would either be a warden or dead, so then it wouldn't have happened. But what I think, when it comes to the Keep, because I know they were thinking about obviously putting comic options in, is that it would only cover the things that would be canon. For example, we know that Varric is single, we can't romance him. Therefore, any encounter with Bianca would be canon anyway, regardless of what happened in the comics, because he's not romanceable. He, it doesn't really affect things. He can't die. There's nothing that you can do to Varric that, can be considered out of canon. So when it came to, say, Alistair being bloody king or whatever, I just don't think they'd cover that bit, because again, it would depend on what he was in your game, kind of thing. So it would just be like, let's see what happened in it. So okay, for the story, for example, we've got Cole. So obviously stuff from Asunder is likely to come into it at some point. So Cole will have always met Rhys. Cole would have always, met Evangeline and stuff. Evangeline would have always had that certain thing happen to her and this, that and the other. But
Win,
with
though.
Win,
Yeah.
but with Win, if Win was dead in your game, then I guess I just don't think they'd mention it.
Yeah.
And so either Evangeline
Yeah,
would either
she
have the
can't
spirit or she
re-die.
wouldn't have the spirit. In which case, Evangeline would either be dead or alive. So I think
That would mean that she had died 3 times by that point.
Wow.
Come on,
Wait.
that's too personal
The
for me.
spirit could have just, found Evangeline, though, right?
well, yeah, there you go. Perhaps that's what it would.
The veil was pretty sensitive in that certain, end
Oh
of the
my.
book
She
part.
was dying, and her spirit still came to her because
Yeah.
Win was dead. So obviously, it wasn't still embodying her.
Yeah.
I mean that would work exactly. She always
Yeah.
got inhabited by the spirit, but it depends on how she acquired it. Yeah, so that sort of thing. So things where, again, like Win and that, I don't think would be brought into it.
Yeah, I think as long as it doesn't interfere with the
Your
player's
games.
choices,
Yeah.
right, then it'll be canon. I don't see why they wouldn't bring that across. Yeah.
Yep.
I love Reese so much.
Oh, love him. So maybe when it comes to what's in the keep, it'll just be marking, did I read it or did I not? Because obviously you don't want the game to spoil you.
Well,
You're
I
like, who
think
are
it
these people?
depends.
Yeah.
I think the game could. It's like, it's over, you know, you read it or you didn't, but the story is the story.
With the books, yeah, but with the comics,
Yeah.
that's going to be a little more difficult. So I think it would... I think what would happen is, for example, if Alistair was a warden, it still went ahead, but he did it as a warden instead. And that'd be it.
Yeah, the stuff in the comics could have taken place either.
Even if he's a drunk in a bar,
Yeah,
Tegan picks him up for something.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
Then
comes
the
back,
only
so
thing,
could
if he
still
was
be
dead,
king.
then obviously it would have played out a different way. It would have happened, but he wouldn't have been there. And
Can Alistair
Yeah.
die?
Yes.
yeah, when he
Yes.
kills the
Oh.
Easily.
archdemon.
Yeah,
Yes.
isn't it like if
Oh,
if you
right.
romance him and you don't do the dark ritual, doesn't he automatically die?
I think if you don't romance him and you don't do the dark ritual,
He'll sacrifice himself.
regardless, whether you've romanced him or not, I
Alistair,
believe.
though. God damn.
Yeah.
They could always, like, for stuff like the comics and the books and stuff, they could always do, like, depending whether or not there's, like, I read the books or not, they could always just do, like, a brief enough little, like, tie-in to it that it doesn't spoil the book if you haven't read it.
Or maybe
Maybe a teaser.
We've got, like, obviously Varric narrating our game. Perhaps he'll narrate a bit of the comic as well, and you can change bits of it. So if Alistair wasn't there because he's dead, then it would play out in a different way, and Varric would explain that to you. Or if your Alistair is still a warden, then he'll be like, Alistair's still a Grey Warden, took some time out to go and do this, that, and the other with Isabella and myself, and blah, 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 you know. And it would maybe play out like
Yeah,
that.
he was there,
Of
so
course,
he should
yeah.
know.
So maybe that's how they'll do it.
Can we please have Varric's story time? Like, please, in Inquisition?
Oh my gosh, wouldn't
Oh,
that
I
be
know
great?
he's going to be sitting there telling everybody stories. I'm like, Varric, tell me another one.
Varric, tell me about the warden.
His stories would be much more interesting than Liliana's. At least he's more fun.
Oh.
I mean, hers were kind of like long drawn out, and now she's super miserable, so she should be like boring. And I'll be like, oh, God's sake.
All I hope is that when they inevitably make her sing again, they improve the facial animation.
Maybe Cullen will be like, no, it's alright, Liliana, I got this, and then he'll sing instead. He just comes in, pushes her off the
She
stage, and
legitimately-
carries on.
She was singing while looking like she was having a casual conversation.
Some of the faces, though, were hilarious.
Yeah.
They
I did love
got
Morrigan's
worse.
reaction, though.
They only got worse in Dragon Age 2, I think. I mean, hilariously so. The dirty faces that sometimes Hawk would pull was just fucking hilarious.
Alright, so let's see. Man, a lot of these are like very confused about how it's actually going to work. Like, you know what? Here's a question that I didn't understand, and maybe you guys can explain this one to me. Since I don't do PlayStation, a lot of people are saying, you know, I'm going to be downloading the DAI via my PS4 instead of, I guess, getting games. Like, they're not doing hard cases anymore. It's just like a download. Yeah. And so they were like, well, if I'm downloading that, can I also, like, play the keep on the website? I don't know. I have no clue about how PlayStation works.
I think they answered that in the Q&A about how it doesn't quite work like that just because it's not that kind of file. It's not like they can just create a save file to download.
Yeah, they
it that
did
way.
address
works
it, but
a
then the
little
question's been asked maybe 5 different places since then. So I'm like, that must not have been
bit. That's on those
sufficient.
people then.
Yeah. But yeah, they were talking about downloading the keep via the web browser. I don't know. I guess people... Here's the thing, right? You have to go on a computer or a mobile phone or a tablet at some point to get on the keep. That just has to happen. A lot of people don't have internet. McDonald's gives you free Wi-Fi. I'm just saying.
Starbucks, man.
Starbucks. Public
Is it free
library.
at Starbucks? I thought you had to pay.
I think it's free. Though,
I get on it for free when I go to Starbucks.
but, you know, there's the coffee aroma, so they expect you to eventually, like, give in and spend money.
Yeah, you should buy a latte. Okay, so for the cost of a latte, you can get onto the website and make all your choices. And then if you're getting really experimental, maybe you can also bring your Xbox in too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Choose
Sit
your
up
own
and playing
adventure.
there all day.
Right?
I mean, they said it doesn't take long to import your thing over and get it all set up. So, I mean, it would just be a case of maybe borrowing a friend's internet or something, going to a library, using it there, because it doesn't take long once you've got it all set up just to import it over. It's like a couple of seconds. So, I mean, the longest thing would be would be to tinker around with it and change things. But that's, you know, it doesn't take that long to do. So,
and then you have to get your console online for a amount of time, like maybe 5 minutes or so.
Well, I'm sure they were considering a way of maybe you could download it or something. I don't know. But I can't see, how would that work? That's interesting. How would you connect your PlayStation to something? Other than taking it to a friend's house. Sorry.
I've always wondered if they'll do like some form of like free DLC, like for Xbox. You can just like download the Keep thing and put in like a code or something with your choices, maybe.
See, that would be neat.
That might be good.
But even then, to connect to the PlayStation Network to do that, don't you have to have internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to sync it up with your Origin account, but I'm wondering if that, for some reason, none of that is possible, would they just kind of do some defaults for you? Like, we've already created a world state, and you can maybe choose from, like, 5.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
there's the default ones there for you.
The defaults are actually in the game as well already, so when you load up, you can do like you could before and just pick a default state.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, because a lot of the people who don't have internet also don't have Origins account, because apparently you can play it without one. I didn't know that. That's new to me, but... So they've been playing this whole time without an Origin account.
Well, you can. I think you can sync it to an Origin account. There's some way. I saw it on Tumblr. Someone did like a big instruction thing how you can sync your games that aren't on Origin to an Origin account. But I don't know how you do that. I'll have to try and dig it out.
I'm gonna write that down, and if I can find it by the time that we post it.
I mean, I saw it actually on Tumblr the other day. If I can find it again, I'll link you over. Let's have a look.
I, for one, am just glad that EA is done experimenting with always online requirements.
Yeah.
Like they did with SimCity and such, because that would not fly for a lot of gamers for a game like Inquisition.
Here's what I wonder. I got on DA2 the other day, and it said that the servers were down.
But you can still play.
But you could still play. And I remember in the past when it was down, you couldn't. So, but then I went online, and I was kind of Googling it, and it seems like everyone is saying that right now the servers are down too, but they can still play. So I wonder if like they're doing something with that right now.
They just, after a while, I think they turn it off, because I know that's what happened with the Mass Effect 2 like Cerberus network thing. Because I've gone back and played Mass Effect 2 recently, and the whole Cerberus network thing doesn't work really.
Okay, so in conclusion, let's just answer a couple more questions from the audience out there. Let's see, here's a good one right here. When do they anticipate that the Keep is going to be released?
So I think it would be really cool if they kind of paid homage to like the previous release date of Dragon Age Inquisition and put the Keep out on October 7th.
That would be a really good idea. I mean, a bit trollish.
I could see that
really
shutting
cool.
a lot of people up.
I know,
because
right?
then
it's like, well, you don't just play the game, but have this.
Yeah.
I would like that. That would be good.
As long as something comes out that day.
And it's like 1 month away almost. So
almost a month away, and they did say sometime in October and about a month away, so that would make sense.
That's a good idea. If you're watching, devs, you should do that.
Okay, let's see. Can somebody jump right into Dragon Age Inquisition without ever touching the Keep? I think we answered that one earlier.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. They have the pre-default sets that you can pick from, like you could in the previous games.
Oh, what if they have an incomplete playthrough? That's a really good question. Like, if you started and you never finished, would it load up? Do we think it would load up?
Yeah. You could take, for example, I was doing one, just prowling around, and I loaded it in. It was half done. I never actually completed it, and then I just filled it all in the Keep.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah.
Very good. So let's pick up where it left off.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Do we know how many total world states we're going to have in the end? I know right now it's 5. Do they plan on increasing that?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they've ever.
I think they've already said. I think they've said they'd like to.
That would be cool if they did. I would enjoy that because I have like 20.
Well, I've only got 2, so it's all good. I've got my Cannon ones, my Cannon Warden, my Cannon Hawk, and that's it. So I'm all good.
Yeah, I kind of want to do an anti-canon, like the opposite of all the things I chose.
A bunch of arsehole protagonists.
Yeah, like
all the horrible things.
Assquisitor, man.
Assquisitor.
Yeah, I'll call it that. Assquisitor.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm totally, with that as my inspiration, going to play through Inquisition at least once as Archer.
God, I love Archer.
Oh, boy.
So what would that be? Would that be the Archquisitor?
Ooh.
I like that.
Hashtag.
I think that should be a hashtag. Okay, so our third
But will he be an
hashtag.
archer as well? Is a rogue?
Sterling
Yes.
Mallory
And
Trevelyan.
that means you have to be a rogue archer. You know that,
Rogue
right?
Archer.
Named Archer. Do
Yeah,
it.
a sterling archer. There we go, sorted.
I like it. Okay, so hashtag Archquisitor is now one of the things you have to do. Archquisitor. I'm writing that down so I won't forget.
Sterling Archquisitor.
Include Sterling? Hashtag Sterling Archquisitor.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Sterling.
Meliana's still the best one.
Meliana.
Okay, and let's do one more question. Let's see, what else do we have here that is not going to be really complicated? A lot of people are concerned. Apparently, there are people out there who have played the game so many times that they have like 30 different versions of their Warden and like 45 different versions of their Hawk. I don't know. I've got like 10
me, basically.
So basically you,
Yeah.
right? And they're concerned that, because there is a limit on how many can sync over, right? Did I read that right?
Yeah.
Is there?
So they're concerned that it's going to
Well,
sync over
sync
all
it
the ones
over.
except for the one that they want.
I don't know.
Could you not go in and sync one? So sync your like first like 5, and then like you have those playing in the game, and then you could maybe go back and then edit your world states for your other characters?
I mean, I'm sure they all show up. I'm pretty sure that like they show up, but then you just pick the ones. But I've never had so many that it's like covered the whole page. So I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
I
That'd be
think when you first
interesting.
import
Well, I mean,
it,
there's-
it like shows you all your wardens or whatever, and you pick one, right?
That would definitely be something to ask the devs, I reckon.
Okay. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It has been a pleasure, and we hope that you'll come back to visit us often. Again, this is Chachi Bobinks. This has been the Dialogue Wheel. Everyone say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See ya!
Don't forget to follow everybody
Follow
on
everyone
Twitter.
on Twitter.
And
Okay,
subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And me too. Subscribe.
too.
Subscribe, yeah.
Subscribe.
You've been listening to Date Night with the Dialogue Wheel, a Dragon Age fan podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Dialogue Wheel, on our website, thedialoguewheel.com, on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dialogue Wheel, or in traffic if you're creepy like that. Goodbye and good night.